recording in progress, she just
Oh
said.
my God.
We got it. All right, so first up, I have financials.
Did anybody have any questions to what I sent out?
Oh, let's see.
Did anybody look at it?
Yes,
I haven't had a chance to
pleased
look at it
with
yet.
our standing.
Did you send it?
I sent
Personally,
it to the whole board.
Did you send
around
it
the
through
first.
Napoli?
Pardon?
Oh, right.
Well,
Well, I thought I
bottom
did look
line
at
is
it.
we're doing fine. Let's
Yes.
keep up the sales. The sales are, driving everything. So that's,
It really has been good for us.
I know,
Sales.
knock on wood, knock on wood.
So happy to see that.
Yeah, and it looks like we've been selling a couple of bigger pieces too, so.
Especially the heat walls show. I mean, that
Right.
is an unexpected bonus.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brenda negotiated a 60-40 with everybody. So we are
Wow.
doing fine.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Yes.
So she did good. She did good.
Yeah.
So I did have her listed to come and speak to us about the 2020 show schedule. And she said she had twofold today. She had 3 grandchildren over at Safari Park. And she also would like a little more time to iron out the piece about the juried show. So we will table that discussion for next time. And I'm sure there will be some emails between then and now, just for some more guidance and ideas. So we'll just table that one. What else I have here? Okay, I have an issue about the calendar came up, and Eve brought to my attention that we used to plan 2 months out. And currently we're only planning 1 month out. What's everybody's take, at least from this group? Do you like to have 2 months out? Do you prefer one? The only thing I have to offer on that, I don't care one way or the other, except that there does seem to be a lot more changes necessary when we plan 2 months out, because people don't necessarily know what they're doing 2 months out. And the other thing is, there are those people who may say, oh, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I won't sign up. And then when it gets closer, there isn't anything available that they want. So those were my 2 negatives. But if everybody prefers it, then so be it. We can do that too. So I just
Is
like
there-
to hear what everybody else wants to offer.
Well, I have a crazy freelancer life, and 2 months out is better for me. But isn't there even a middle ground, like 6 weeks out? You know what I mean?
No, I'm not doing that, because that's double work. Then I have to do that calendar twice. Every time I do this calendar, I have to format this calendar for the
Oh.
month that's being presented and the hours that we're currently keeping. But between you and I, Eve, if you need to give me dates 2 months out, I can put them on the table to insert when I make the next month's calendar.
Well,
So, if it's something that makes one person's life easier, I'm more than happy to work with that.
well, some months are busier than others, and some of my busy ones are coming up. And I usually try to build it around the Oasis schedule, because I don't want to
Right.
have to make
Right.
it change.
Well,
But,
we can talk about
Okay,
you just giving me some dates ahead of time. Anybody else have any feelings one way or the other?
I like the 1 month out, because sometimes, just like you said, like sometimes 2 months is a little hard, and then I'm trying to kind of figure out a way to move something around. I'm one of those people.
I know. And also what I never liked about the 2 months was people saying, I'm not going to sign up because I don't know what I'm doing. That
Yes.
caused more trouble, I think, than anything.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You're afraid to sign up on one end because you don't want to know if you'll find anybody to switch with, but then at the same time, you got to sign up for something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The trouble is that people wouldn't, and then the days were gone.
Yeah. I like the 1 month. I feel like it gives enough time to sort of know what's going on and figure out what you have scheduled, but still get your days in.
okay, but what I'm talking about is, and I don't know how it works, Natalie, instead of choosing our 1 month 4 weeks in advance? Can we choose it 5 weeks in advance? In other words, you send out the link in the last week of the previous month.
Well, I can probably do that instead of waiting until right around the 1st. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if that would be better for anybody. It's just an idea.
All right. Well, I can try sending it out a little earlier if you think that helps.
As long as it isn't more work for you, Natalie, I think,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you've got a tremendous amount now anyway. So.
It's the remembering to do it is the biggest thing.
Well, you inspired us at hospice to use the same format and it's worked out way better.
It is. It's a
And
good
they were
format.
very hesitant, and resistant, like, oh, it's going to be so hard, but it's been much better. But there, our changes are much, you know, we're much more flexible. It's not like we have to keep a shop open. Well, there we just go and change it ourselves, kind of thing. So if I know I'm going to be there from 2 to 4, and I signed up for 3 to 5, I can just go in and change it. So I don't have to bother the hospice Natalie. It's a little more complicated for Oasis. But
Well, and somebody's got to be in charge and make sure the store stays open. And we had, you know, we went to this system because we had a calendar that everyone could access, and it became disastrous several times. Everyone's hours were wiped out because of one mistake. So,
somebody
you
like
know,
me.
and then I put a trace on it so I could see when everybody logged in and what they were doing. And there was some suspicion that one person was not being fair to others by race. And I found it to be true, oddly enough, in the end. So, yeah.
That
So this
person
way
isn't with us anymore.
No,
we
he's
can-
not.
So. Thank
My
goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So anyway, I will try to send it out a little earlier if that's going to make it easier for other people. And, you know, and like I said, we can, anytime we can talk about getting your days on there prior to, because I get it. And, you know, everybody needs a little help every now and then. Most people don't need it at the same time. So it balances out.
Good.
And then I was talking a little bit this morning in the marketing meeting about Shopify. I feel like our Shopify is dead. We haven't done anything. I have really wanted to do a post, and I will continue to work. I have one thing on there from my window display. So I need to try to get a few more and then do a Facebook post, because that's what brings the Shopify revenue in. But Anne recently sent me some items, and Sally has sent me some items. So if anybody else has anything ready.
Well, I've been holding off because I know how busy you are and Anna hasn't been available. I mean, have you got the guitar pictures?
No, Erin's going to send me the files. We talked about that too. So I have to have the images. I can't do it off a video or a PowerPoint. So
Well,
once
I got a bunch of stuff in the pipeline.
Hmm.
And I brought some things in the other day, but to my surprise, before I could put them on Shopify, they sold. So
very good.
yeah, now I've got an
Good
empty
to
wall
know.
again. Mhm.
And I said, it's a whole lot easier for me to put other people's items on Shopify because you've done half the work. When you send me the images and the descriptions, it's copy and paste or drag. When I have to put my own on there, I have to do all of that work that you've done. So it's double work for me to put my own stuff on there. Shouldn't be like this, but
The shoemaker's children go unshod.
that's right. But it'll get there. So that's all I had for Shopify. So maybe but if I get the guitar images, then I'll put the Shopify link. I'll put that on, you know, do a little Facebook.
I'll send those when we finish up here.
Okay. And then we can do a little Facebook post and boost it, and see how that goes. All right, so We had a kind of a little interior discussion. Barb P had brought up why others are not supplying boxes that might be necessary for their items. So I guess we could ask, since people are asking for boxes for the scarves, we could ask Joanna if she would like to supply boxes for her scarves. You know, small clothing boxes would work. Like even a size for gloves would work for a scarf. And
I know, and
go ahead, Barb.
I'm sorry, Natalie. I think that just came up one, and I'll admit, I mentioned it to Sarah, being out of Oasis mode and coming back after vacation and sort of trying to figure things out. But I had a customer come into the shop, bought a piece of my jewelry. I asked her if she wanted a box. She declined. Fine, no big deal. She came back like 20 minutes later and saw something in the window she wanted. And then she said, oh, but I would like a box for this. And I said, I am so sorry. I said, I can, I have boxes for my work, but not everyone supplies a box. I could look for something for you in the back. And she said, oh no, don't worry about it. That's fine. But because I had offered her a box for my work, then she, asked for a box for something else. And it was just that. And so it was just that idea that, and I also know, like Natalie was saying, I have had times where people have asked for a box for a scarf. And we don't really have anything for those.
All I say is, well, we don't have, but I'm going to wrap it up really nicely in tissue paper. And that's,
Right.
That's enough. I frankly, Joanna's sales aren't that wonderful that she's going to want to supply boxes. My thought, but you can ask her. Etta, as I said in that email chain, has those gold bags.
Has bags.
Yep.
For the necklaces too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both fit in there.
And I think like I said, I think for me, it's just sort of a matter of remembering everything that's going on. I hadn't been there for what felt like almost 2 months probably, and just trying to get reestablished. So I think my questions were sort of answered in all the email exchange.
Let me just clarify that we supply bags, tissue, and bubble wrap.
Mhm.
Oasis does, and we spend a lot of money on those things. Jewelers have to bring in their own boxes because jewelry generally has to be in a box. Everything else can be wrapped in tissue paper, or like Kathy Kavanaugh brings in that white paper for her bowls. Sarah brings in that purple paper for the big paintings. So I think Etta is nice to bring in those cute bags for her stuff, but I don't think it's mandatory. I think,
But I just did that because, jewelry is kind of like you say, should be kind of wrapped like a gift or something. That's why I first brought in the bags, but then, whatever fits in it is fine with me. Yeah. Well,
the trouble is getting people to remember.
Right. Well,
you know.
if they don't remember, that's not a big deal to me, but that's the reason why I brought them.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
And it's a nice touch. It
is, and I put a little card on it and say thank you and enjoy. So,
Right.
I mean,
I think it's classy myself.
Yeah.
So if you want to start including wearable art, then
I have seen a lady who sells the scarves like Joanna does, and she has little boxes. I mean, because you can fold those silk scarves pretty small, and it does look very nice.
Mhm.
And she could put a little bit. I don't think they're that expensive.
well, that's for
No.
those scarves, but now she has heavier shawls. Do you want her to bring a box for that?
Well,
I sold one of those wraps she had, and I just, like you said, I put it nicely in some tissue, and I said, is this good enough? And she said yes, and so that was the end of that.
Yeah.
I always like to ask people, I ask them if they want bubble wrap or not, because some of them they don't want so much wrapping, or they want it. So I always like to give them a choice. But if there's a box, I mean, why don't we run it by her and see what she says? It's her decision, isn't it?
Yeah, ultimately it's her decision.
well, I'm
Again,
gonna have a think when I'm there next week and try to have a brainstorm about some simple, cheap thing or free thing that I donate that, you know, like some little touch that'll class it up without adding a whole lot of bother. Maybe I'll think of something and I'll
Well,
run it by you.
We have those organza bags, those small ones that they're like 3 different sizes of them, and those are free for anybody to use, like for Jilly's jewelry or something like that. You wrap a little tissue paper and stick it in that, and usually the customers likes the little colorful bags. So, and those are pretty cheap. You
Yeah,
get-
they are, and they're not big enough for a scarf.
no,
they?
but they sell them in larger sizes, like what Etta
Oh.
has.
Yeah, right.
So we could get larger ones that would fit like a mug wrapped in, you know, tissue, or, you know, the scarves or something like that.
Well, how many people here know how to wrap a clock?
A clock.
What to do the,
With little
do.
flags on the front.
Because I've seen them go out and they don't, people don't wrap them properly, even though it is in the procedures manual. My message is here is let's keep it as simple as we can.
but I'm almost wondering, and maybe this is just me with my memory not being so great lately, but I'm wondering if maybe during the biannual members meeting, it's just a nice thing to touch on to remind people, you know, because I think sometimes when you're only going in there a couple of times or one time a month, it's sort of easy to forget all that is there, or maybe just remind people to familiarize themselves with what's behind them for putting things together. Like the little bags. I think, I don't know, for me, sometimes I get nervous if I'm busy and I sort of get flustered and you sort of forget all the little
You
things
wanna-
that are available.
Slow the customer down, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think by the same token, if you are in there a lot, it's hard to remember what it's like for people who aren't. And, you know, people have joined at different times and
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah.
to be on top of what has been communicated successfully and what hasn't.
I think it's much more important that the items are listed in the inventory and have a right price on it. That's all
I think
I'm
so
worried about,
too.
because that's a pain in the neck when you have to look for something. and-
Yes.
and
Right.
You got that right.
So the
And what
rest is, you know, it's
What
all
about
stuff.
those names in the inventory that don't appear to have any products?
Such as,
Well, I can't remember.
because I think
name.
I've cleaned all that up, but if
Oh,
you
last time
find
I
it,
looked, I hadn't seen that, but I haven't been in there for 3 weeks, so.
Well, let's see. It looks better than it did. There are way less names in there.
well, part of that is Etta and I cleaned up the musicians. And we got rid of musicians who had not had a sale in 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay. Well, I like the idea coming back to keeping it simple. I think that's really important because we are a unique entity. Too many different products, too many different styles. We can't have boxes or packaging for every single thing.
Some people sell decorative boxes.
Mhm. Well, Charlottesville has boxes, many different sizes, and if the customer wants them, they charge 50 cents for them. So what, even for jewelry, if they're buying earrings or something and you say, we have gift boxes available for 50 cents, would you like a box? And I've watched at the end of the month, we'll pull in several $100s on 50-cent boxes.
what do you think about that though?
Well, they cost money, they're not free.
And it
And,
gives people an
you know,
ecological choice.
Someone is having to pay for them, so you have to pass that on, distribute. Personally, I like to offer a box with my jewelry. I just think it's a classy enough thing to do. Just like I
Yeah,
put
at the
everything
price
on a
point of
chain.
your jewelry, Natalie, wouldn't it feel cheap to charge for a box?
I would, I feel terrible about that,
Yeah.
but in Charlottesville, these people are paying money for boxes. So anyway, but they have large sizes for mugs and for small clocks and other things. So,
I actually meant that I sell decorative boxes.
right. Yeah. And that's a choice, and people buy them because they want the presentation.
Mhm.
I spend a lot of money on presentation. That's,
Hi, Ellen.
Hi,
hi.
sorry, I was looking through my email looking for the link
Aw,
as I spoke. Okay. It was a busy day today.
yay.
Good.
We like those busy days.
Yeah, I was just looking at the sales. You were busy.
Very. 800 and something, 878.
Good. Good. Huh. You never can tell, can you?
Mm-mm.
Kathy said it was quiet yesterday.
Well, it's
Well,
200
we're
bucks.
the only game in town on Mondays, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm.
Okay.
Is that a
so-
guitar,
Yes.
Ellen?
It-
I saw-
What?
How does that work?
Well, this was a pre-sold guitar, and I asked Mila Sue to pay for it, suggesting that she make a check, and she said, I really would prefer to charge it. So last night I put it in Square so she could charge it today. So, I mean, keeping track is gonna be fun, isn't it?
Oh dear. So how much does a guitar sale raise for the cause? I've forgotten the
But
arrangement.
it's on the agenda. Do you want me to talk about that now, Natalie, or wait?
Sure, go ahead.
So, recall that each artist got to pick the percentage that they were donating. So we've sold 5 guitars, and 2 of those have been people who are donating everything. The other 3 people are donating 50%. So when you add it all up, it comes to so far $1,400 bucks. So that's pretty good.
Wow.
That's good.
So Etta had the bright idea, and I really concur with this, that we stash the money for this because Oasis is getting nothing out of this, that we stash the money in our Pendleton bank account and pay the artists who want to be paid from there. And then she and I will keep track of the taxes and tell the accountant how much we have collected in taxes, because he'll have to report that on our monthly report to the whatever he reports to.
Okay, but what about the artists that do not have a W-9 with Oasis?
Well, you only need a W-9 if it's over 600 bucks, and so far none of
Oh,
these-
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
But you could imagine a scenario where an artist sold a guitar and then later had a show with us and sold more things. And they go over 600 in sales, not 600 in checks received, not in sales. So I would just tell the accountant that. So the guitar show is up. Sarah and I had lots of fun putting it up. Actually, it went up pretty fast, didn't it, Sarah?
Yeah, one bed.
We had a minor flap with BMRC last week, where they asked us to remove a guitar because it was offensive to a few of their residents and staff.
Oh,
And so we did. And it's on display at Oasis. So
what was its offensive point?
I don't know, didn't offend me. So you're
Here
asking
it
me wrong.
is.
Oh, yeah.
It was it has words on it based on, you know, like internet bullying and things like that, you know, have,
Oh, I hate everyone, everything, everything. I wish I was dead.
Uh-huh.
And on the other side, I think it says hell is beautiful, which is probably very offensive to the VMRC.
Yeah, probably.
Yes,
So-
but the first go around when they
Yeah.
asked us about the guitar, Levi told me his reasoning behind it, and we posted something about that, saying that he was just trying to stimulate conversation and wasn't taking a stance. And the VMRC management thought that would be okay. And then the next day it wasn't, so.
Well, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we're still supporting the artist and we removed it from where they had it. So I think we did the right thing.
I agree.
And it's ugly anyway, right?
I think it is too. My main reaction to it is that the workmanship is really awful.
Terrible.
So,
Yep.
but the words, I don't know. So to each their
Yeah.
own, right?
That's
Right.
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 Takes all kinds.
Right. Yeah. It's their own, it's not our own. So,
Right.
So
and we're in the
the sh-
driver's seat. Yay!
Yeah. The show will be up until the 29th of August, and then it'll come back to Oasis, and we'll put it in the windows, especially for Best Weekend Ever, because Andrea Dono at the HDR asked for that specifically. So we'll do that, and then they can go home. Not all of them will be sold, so we're going to have to figure out what to do. I imagine that the music teachers might want some for, you know, future, you know, raffles and things. I don't know. I don't want to clutter my brain with that right
Right.
now.
Right. We'll deal with that later. Hopefully
Yeah.
a lot of them will sell and we won't have so many to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will be hosting First Friday in August, as long as they have it.
Yes, and there are 5 artists who want to talk. And then, and I'll give you that list. And I believe that the music teachers will provide background music for not the whole program, but for some of it.
So
So
the talking is first Friday in September or first Friday in August?
in August,
Okay.
and that's out at VMRC, right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's out at VMRC.
well, I didn't even know that.
Well, that's where the guitars will be.
Yeah, but I thought we were talking about when they come back to Oasis.
That isn't, no. That's a
not-
very different First Friday.
Yeah,
That's Best Weekend Ever.
yeah.
So will
any-
it be the same time from 5 to 8, like First Fridays downtown, or is it a special?
You know, I'm not certain. I have a sense it might be 4 to 7, but I need to look that up.
Okay,
And whether or not they will allow food is a day-to-day thing. So just have to wait and see how they're feeling. Frankly, with the Delta variant, I'm not feeling good about anything. So
Yeah, I think we can just forego food anyway, because you have to buy it from them and it's pretty expensive.
um,
yeah.
They
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
They already said that there would be no food initially.
Yeah,
When they communicated, it was no food.
yeah. I think so.
Well, I talked with Lolly last week or 2 weeks ago, and she said we're still waiting to see. So
so will the speakers be artists who created some of the guitars, or art teachers who are?
no, it's people who have things in the show.
Okay,
So there's 5 speakers. How long a speech should we prepare?
Short as possible, I'd say.
Under 1 minutes apiece, I would think, if it's, because you have to move. are we going to move to their guitars and they're going to talk about it in front of their individual guitar?
Since
Guess
I'm
that's
not gonna be
choice.
there, I hadn't thought about that. What do you think, Natalie? You probably
I
haven't
think,
thought.
yeah, I think because if they're talking about what motivated them to create the piece they did, they probably should at least be near the piece. So either bring the piece to them or have the speech. And it might be nicer to have it flow over to where their guitar is, and then you keep people moving, keep them awake.
Yeah,
And
that's,
then they also can see the others along the way.
Yeah, yeah. For example, one of them can't move, so, you know,
yeah, some of them are close to each other and
Williams is the farthest away. We have the two Marshmans, we have Eve and William. One other person, I don't remember who. So,
oh, I thought, oh yeah, the two Marshmans you said. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, it's written down somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Did we
Okay.
say what time they're gonna do their speeches, or did we set a time for that?
Not yet.
No, because we don't even know the
Can,
time.
can we just tell them, 5 minutes and try to make it interesting? I mean, it's interesting to them, but
Well, mine's gonna be interesting, and it's relevant not
sure.
just to the
Yeah.
art, but it's relevant to the music teachers' cause.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
it's not about me.
Well, how about but everyone should have the same amount of time, right?
Yeah, wouldn't hurt to set a target.
No?
I mean, yes.
Well, maybe a
5
maximum.
minutes. Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm just thinking 5 minutes is a long time.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
That long.
It isn't?
Okay, max 5 minutes, suggested time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something
Sounds
like
good.
that.
That's way too little.
Well, we can figure that out as it gets closer, because it also may not happen. This
Yeah.
event may not happen. So we don't want to spend too much time on it
Right.
now. So we'll figure that out. Anything else on the guitar show, Barbara?
I can't think so.
Okay. So,
What is the field trip? Excuse me, I read something about a field trip to the guitar. What about that?
yes, in the marketing committee, we were talking about how I don't think any of us that had been on the meeting this morning had been over to see the guitar show. So we
Tut,
decided,
tut.
I know. We decided, that if we motivated each other, perhaps we could schedule a little field trip and do it in small groups and go and see the guitar show. I suggested the second week of August, just because that suits my schedule. But my thought was, depending on how many people want to go and see it, we can do it around lunch. And one group can go to the guitar show, like half the people can go before lunch, and then we can all meet up for lunch. And then the other half can go to the guitar show after lunch.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It would be fun to go with several others.
Do we have to make reservations or?
Well,
Yeah.
I think I'll just put it
Cool.
out there, and if people are interested, I'll send an email and we can pick a date that suits. And, you can just say, yeah, I want to go, I'll be in the after lunch group, or I want to be in the morning, I'll be in the before lunch group. And if you don't want to go to lunch, you don't have to. I just thought we could make a fun day of it.
Yeah,
There is a cafe there at VMRC that has okay food.
Yes, so someone already mentioned that if we went to see the show, we should eat there. So I didn't know anything about it. It was a customer that had been to the show, and she said, oh yes, go and eat there.
Isn't there some better option?
Yeah, that wouldn't be my choice.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of options.
you can just have a cup of tea. You don't have to actually have lunch if you don't want to.
Okay, so anyway, I'll work on that. Seems like enough people are interested. nothing further there? Okay, so Jilly, I'm sorry she's not here, but she has requested that she has a status change. She wants to be part-time beginning in September through next March. So I
What
told her that.
happens then after that?
What's that?
What happens after March?
Oh, I guess she would plan to come back full-time.
Oh,
So she just feels like she needs this part-time status for a little while. So I told her that I did not foresee a problem, but that we would bring it up at the board meeting. She hasn't asked for anything like that in the past. And
Does this mean she's not on the board or what?
well,
Does
she
Does a
mentioned-
part-timer
well,
get to be
yeah,
on the board or
part-time
what?
on the board. I don't think that matters,
Okay.
but she also made the comment that she would be on the board through the year, through the end of the year, and then see what happened. So I think that there may already be some thought that it's more than she can handle.
Okay.
But
okay with me. We
ask
you
her.
know, we limit the number of associates and members are entitled to a change
yeah,
or to request a change once a year.
and I think we're in good shape docent wise right now. So
I don't know. Can I move to accept her proposal?
okay,
I'll second it.
all right. And all in favor?
I,
Yeah,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I will let her know that status.
Hey,
And then-
going back to the guitar show, I forgot to thank Erin publicly, and I hope it goes in the minutes, for the work she did, not only photographing, but putting them in a format that was commanded by VMRC. That was way beyond me, and it wasn't hard for her, but she did it in less than 24 hours. So
Wow.
big
Yeah.
thanks to Erin.
Yay, thank you.
Gemma took some of the photos and then Erin did the rest in that magnificent document. So thank you, Erin.
Yes, it did
Well,
look great. It really
we're
did.
glad. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had a couple of comments from people from Facebook that not members of the gallery saying that they enjoyed seeing the video thing of the guitars of the guitar, about the guitar show.
Yeah, except it went by so fast.
it does,
Like
but it makes you want to, it really gets your
a
appetite
good,
going.
a good teaser, a
Yeah.
teaser.
Yep,
The idea.
Okay, and so did everybody get the email or the piece that I sent about Joanna and the best gallery ad? And she needs an answer by tomorrow, so we've got to give her an answer on this. What are your thoughts?
I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're financially okay to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we do need to, you think about the press we get from DNR. I mean, God, it's amazing.
yeah.
Well, the
So,
Orange too, and
you know, we
So-
got to give back.
good
Are we
point.
gonna go with the 1/8 page color ad for $2.99? She sent out a sheet that gave information about all of the other, I included that in this agenda. But they can be costly.
Yeah, I'm happy with the 1/8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody want a motion for that? Barbara?
I'll
are you-
make a motion that we do
Okay.
the 1/8.
All right, and I'll
99.
second. Everybody in favor?
Second,
I,
Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed?
But the eights is, it's 299. Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
the price?
Mm.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, so that's that. porcelain painter show.
Finally, we're gonna
That
have
coming
it
up
in
in September.
September. 2-day show. Sarah met with Herta, and maybe you want to jump in here, Sarah, and say what you're planning.
We'd originally thought we could have it up on the balcony, but when Herta came with her cohorts and they were having like a meeting at her house, and then they came into the gallery to meet with us or me. They were hesitant to make some of their members go up the steps because they have some elderly members. So we're planning to move things in the back of the gallery, the last 2 glass shelves back a little bit toward, who is it that's over there anyway, toward the wall a little bit, and have tables there that will have the display of their work on it. And then in the back corner where Mike Riesenberg and Etta and everybody is, they'll have one table for their little workshop. And it's just going to be like maybe like a half a dozen people at a time that are doing their workshops. So that's what we kind of came down on, because they didn't want to deal with the stairs. So I think that'll work. It'll block Mike and Etta's work for that part of that day when they're doing their workshops. But I think for, to be able to accommodate them, we'll just have to put up with that for a short period of time.
Are there workshops, just walk-in workshops, or do people
No,
sign up
you
for them?
sign up for them. There'll be limited space and you have to sign up for them. And I'm not sure how much they'll be open for people in the community. Some of it will be for, their people that are taking, coming from all over to be participants in the whole, whatever they're calling it, the get together.
It must
So
be
are
an
they-
annual meeting or something, I think, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a regional meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we reached out to Herta to see if we can get that information, and she's in Italy right now. Said she's organizing by email, but could we give her to the end of the month? So as soon as we have that, we can, we'll give you a copy, Barb, for
Okay,
social media and all that jazz, and Erin, you'll
So-
get it for the press release. Okay.
When
But
is
we're
this?
I think it's September 24 and 25, or 23 and 24. It's right around there anyway.
It's that weekend. Right.
so it sounds like they're handling the signups because they want it open to their people.
That's what we think right now, but let's wait
Okay.
and see what she comes up with.
Okay,
Well, we'll see. It might be that they'll give their people first option to sign up when they sign up to come to the event. And then whatever is open, whatever slots they have open after that, we can, advertise to the public, I think. So
Hello, Moto.
Sorry, my new phone just going crazy.
but they do want people just from the community to come in and see their show too. So we should try to, I don't know what kind of advertisement we can do with or through Herta to, if they're willing, I don't know if they're willing to spend any money on advertising to the community, or just try to get some free publicity through DNR or what, but they do want people to come in and see the exhibit of their members show.
okay.
Will be up
And-
for that weekend.
And do you know if we'll
Well,
be
we can
selling
put that on
pieces?
Facebook.
No, they're not for sale, I don't believe. It's just there might be some kind of competition among the members as best in show or something, but I don't think we're not involved in that. That's part of their setup. So We just providing the space.
Okay.
As a reminder, when the pandemic started, HERDA gave us $5,000.
Oh, my
Oh, wow.
goodness.
Yeah,
So-
so we're,
We love
With-
HERDA. We
with
want to
the-
support her.
Yeah.
support
So
her.
we will have better information at the end of the month of how this is all going to work.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Any updates on the new rat cards, Barbara?
Yeah, Deb, for those of you who don't know, Joanna said she couldn't get to designing a new rack card till the fall. We are basically out of rack cards because Roger took 1,500 and distributed them all over
Oh,
the
my
hotels.
Wow.
So yeah, so they went much faster than I thought they would. So we reached out to Deb Booth, who has just today sent two ideas to us, and I distributed that to a couple of you, but I think we're very close, and then we'll order, I don't know. It seems to me the last one we got was in 2017, and the most economical at that point was like 6,000 maybe. It's a lot. So we'll see. You know, this is occurring at a time when we do have money. So but the trouble I find, if you order a gazillion of them, you're sick of them by the time they're all used
Yeah.
up.
And go out of date.
Things change,
Yeah, yeah.
artists change, product changes.
Even styles on the record.
Yes, right.
So
Well,
we'll
then-
see.
We can try to give them away a lot faster.
How?
Or buy a smaller amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll just wait and see once we're not quite to that point yet.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing them.
It's in your investment.
Yes, I saw and I didn't have time to open it because I just got in right before this meeting and was trying to print up my agenda. I was cramming here. So I will look at that. Do you have any status updates on Mel?
Yeah, he's tolerating dialysis really well. And Eve saw him today. So
Yeah.
do you want to tell us anything?
There isn't really much I can tell you. He was responsive. His voice sounded good, which I find is a very important indicator, but he looked pretty bloody awful. I was there for the entire dialysis session. And
Apparently he slept through most of that. Or...
yeah, and that's part of my job. If people need to sleep, it really helps induce the sleep. But yeah, there was definitely a real Mel in there. He wasn't too far from the surface.
Well,
He doesn't-
this
and
is
I
what Karen wrote today.
Ah,
Dr. So-and-so led the team this morning. He told us Mel is tolerating dialysis well. Soon they will wean him off the IV drips. Lasix is off now, as they are pleased with the dialysis results. The rocket fuel we wait to hear. This is progress. Eve Waters played so beautifully, it relaxed me and my niece too. Amazingly, she played Moon River and Sharon sang it. Mel and I danced to that in high school.
Aw.
Oh,
And then tomorrow he rests, no dialysis. And so Karen is feeling really good,
Good.
so,
Good.
this is such a change from when he was at Centera, where they were telling her he wasn't going to live.
Well, they were at the end of what they could do.
yeah.
That's what happens in these smaller hospitals. That's why you need to end up at a teaching facility.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and nothing wrong with them, but that was their capabilities. So I think they made a very wise choice.
Yeah, and you can tell their spirits are just picked up tremendously. So
But they also are very aware that it probably isn't going to turn out, we're not going to get him back for years and years to come.
Well, no, he probably has to have dialysis for
regularly.
the rest of his life.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, for those of you who don't know, Karen is a former member and a current board member. So,
Our advisory board.
yeah. And if you went to the opening of the Heat Wall show, Mel and his group were playing music that night.
I think he sprung himself out of that hospital just to do that.
I think you're right.
I
Yeah.
really believe that he did. And so anyway, I hope that things continue to go well. And you know, there are at-home options for dialysis now. And UVA
Oh, I
does-
didn't know that. How wonderful.
Yes, they set it up in your home and you do it. A lot of people do it overnight. I have one client that would get up at 5 a.m. so he could sleep in the bed with his wife, and he'd get up at 5 a.m. and turn on the TV and sit in the recliner and hook himself up. And it took till about noon for that to finish.
Wow.
So
That's
there
wonderful.
are other options to going to a center, but of course, all of that would have to be determined if that would work in their situation. But you know, don't give up, right? Hang in there. And Eve, if I'm sick, I want you to come sing to me.
I will. I always will.
What a joyous thing to have.
Yeah, really.
Amazing.
But it
Yes.
works scientifically, it works physiologically, as well as on all the other levels.
Increased dopamine. Music
Yeah,
increases
exactly.
dopamine. Yes, it's very important. Thank you for that. All right, so best weekend ever promotions. We've got to do some social media stuff when it gets a little closer. Barbara sent out the list of what is going on, quite an extensive list. Did anybody else get a chance to look at it?
Yeah,
I did.
No
I'm
question.
just trying to figure out if I can do both things still, whether I can offer the jewelry making. What are our times again, Barbara, for that? Do we know specifically?
12 to 5. I think the streets close at 11. So we're trying to do 12 to 5 for all our activities.
Okay.
And that's Saturday.
Yeah, as a general rule, you know, so I would expect the sidewalk people to be out there most of that time. It could be like anything. You feel the vibes of what's going on and say, let's bundle up, you know, let's take them down. So, you know, but in the kids zone, I don't know, Sarah, what do you think? 12 to 5 is a general rule?
I think so. And Barb, Paul, I think we had said that since you're doing your own table, that you wouldn't be doing the jewelry
Yeah,
thing.
So should I take you off that?
I think so. I think so. The only last resort I would have would be to talk to a friend of mine and see if she'd be willing to come down. And I haven't had time to do that yet.
Why
But
don't we
darn
just
her,
make it
she got a
easy and
job.
just, why don't we just take you off that? Because we have, Sarah's
have
doing
plenty.
a copper disc. So
Okay.
yeah, I think
That
we have a terrific array of great stuff. If you haven't looked at the list yet, we got Jackson involved.
It is
I saw
most
that.
impressive. It is
That's
really
great.
very impressive.
Yeah, yeah. So I need to work a bit more with Explore More, because they were supposed to set up an event page and make us co-hosts, and they haven't done that yet. But that's, you know, that'll be good to list all the kids zone stuff there. And then we can have an event page for the other things that are happening. I'm just a tad concerned about the other outside activities. Two things are not, it's not enough energy. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody think of anything else that we could demo or do outside?
You're not talking about kids' activities. You're just
No,
talking
I'm
about.
talking about adult. Right now, the other outside activities are Dinah Mitchell Bailey doing bead making and then mosaic making.
Mhm.
Are you gonna do mirrors or something like that? Is that?
I
what you
haven't nailed it down. You know, ideally, I would really, really love to have a building that wants a mosaic, and we could start one for that. Wouldn't
Wow.
that be fun?
That'd be great. You know what I say? I say we still need to do the entryway to Oasis and get the landlord to allow us to do that front entryway on the sidewalk and put a 103 for the address leading into the door.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
It is.
I know.
I don't, you know, maybe once William finally does the what do we call that thing? The above
Yeah, under the marquee.
overhang. Maybe once he sees that, he'll feel more inclined to trust us with something bigger. I don't know. You know.
So when is William planning to work on it?
Uh,
No.
maybe you should ask him.
Yeah,
I
we
don't-
need to get him moving on it before he burns out and,
Yeah,
you know,
doesn't like us anymore.
that's right. Could happen.
Well, yeah. So maybe you want to ask him. Would you mind asking him? Because I've asked him twice now, and I think that bridge is done with me.
Well, I'll email him and ask what my husband or son-in-law could do to help the
Great
project.
idea.
Barbara, you know mosaic stepping stones and gardens?
Uh-huh.
Is there any place for those, like the public gardens downtown, the one down more towards North Liberty, north of town, or outside the library, or the little pocket garden space?
What a
next
cool
to
idea,
Agora,
Barb.
or along, you know, so maybe somehow get them in the ground that someone wouldn't just pick one up. But you know,
Right.
if you could set it into the ground a little bit, the mosaic stepping stones could be in odd little places, like even the little where they've planted flowers.
Right. You mean across from us?
Uh-huh.
That's a great idea. I have molds, but I only have 2. So
I might have one. I used to have one. I don't know if I can still have it.
I might have some too.
who's that talking?
Ellen,
Ellen.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, if we could collect all our molds, maybe we would have enough for people to work on, do that. You know, it's pretty easy to do.
Mm.
It's making me think of Sebastopol. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, you know, I have this dream of dressing up Water Street, so I need to find out who owns the building where the Mexican restaurant was, to see if they would let something go on that side that looks at us.
Mhm. That'd be
Sarah,
wonderful.
do you know how to find that out? Who owns that building?
Probably at the, down at the city.
I can go online and find it.
Yes, it's
Can
like
you?
online.
That would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
I can go on the city real estate and maybe find it.
Yeah,
That would be great.
Because if we're 103, they're probably what, 105 or 201 or something
No,
like that.
they'd be in 2 digits.
Yeah, they'd be
They're
less.
north of us, so, and the
Like-
south counts down from Pendleton Bank, or gets
Yeah.
higher from Pendleton Bank on down. Doesn't it, Sarah?
Yeah, because we're on the odd side of the street, so it'd be an odd number under 100. Right.
Okay.
It should be
Okay.
90 something, I think.
All right. Let me see if I can find it on the real estate page.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
okay, what I was gonna say is, have you been to Sebastopol, California? Anybody?
Years ago, why?
Okay, remember, it's a cute little town, arty little cute town. And there's a couple that for years and years and years have been making these hilarious, whimsical, quite large structures, mostly out of like found metallic things. They're often people, but it's a thing in this town now. There's some everywhere you go, including one street. Almost every house has one of them. That's what your idea is reminding me It's this sort of signature around town. That
Yeah.
would be that would be
Same.
so cool.
You know, Ellen, your video's on and you're in the bathroom. Do you want to take your video off?
You're not, okay. I don't know how to do that, but
There we go.
Phone over,
is that over?
face down.
You're off.
So, Eve, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that, but HDR recently published the Art Walk little brochure.
No, I
And we-
haven't seen that.
We have some at Oasis and it's online too.
Uh-huh.
And we got a lot of credit in there, so it's well worth looking at.
Yeah, well, if your mosaic started turning up all over town, your stepping stone mosaics, you know? That's what I got
Yeah,
me thinking.
I
Okay,
was thinking about costumes. Did you say you wanted to, Barbara, what did you want to, you said something you wanted to get it more alive or something? I didn't quite, is that
yeah,
the whole?
because Pendleton Bank said that we could use their parking lot since the streets are closed. So we only have 2 activities in there right now. And I'd love to see a couple more to give it more energy, I guess is what.
do we have any musicians that would like come and play for a couple hours? We could search our database and see if we can line up a few.
You know, Dwight
Oh.
Martin has played it with us for on New Year's Eve. I don't know how much he charges, but he's a
That's always
great,
a draw.
huh?
That's always a draw.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What kind of music is that?
He plays oldies. And you know, every New
On-
Year's Eve when he was doing it, people would dance. It was really nice.
Yep.
Is he a solo on guitar or what?
Yeah. And other things.
Well, I've done tons of those things, but I'm kind of retired from that now. So I'm not gonna do it. But musicians are usually, they're kind of a dime a dozen and kind of usually looking for ways to get their music out there, you know?
Well, since I am still the music coordinator, if you know of any, please let me know. I have a list, but it isn't, you know, it'd be nice to have new stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's always new ones out there.
So
Ask somebody-
when you hear of them, would you pass them on to me?
Yes, and I'm not very likely to be the one to hear of them being in another sphere of music in another county. But who do we know that's like under 40 or better still under 30? That's where to look for people who are, I would think, hungry for an audience and a little sponsorship.
So are we willing to pay them or what's the deal? Is it a volunteer thing?
I prefer to go volunteer, you know?
So,
Yes, exposure.
so a friend of ours, our old house sitter who's in her 20s, her boyfriend has a little band and they actually played at Red Wing on the little,
Did they?
one of the state. Yeah. I don't know if it's something he would be willing to do. It's just 2 guys, 2 of them, but I will send a text to Kylie. and ask.
Fabulous,
That's the
fabulous.
kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And see, they're gonna know other people too.
Yes, and if they come, they're going to bring people in
Right,
as well,
Right.
which is
Right.
very important.
right. And if they can sell something and keep the money, that's, or
And
take
maybe they could
tips.
sell CDs, their CDs. or
oh
something
yeah,
over there.
for sure. They'd
Yeah.
have to, I think we're maxed out on our tables, so they'd have to bring their own, but yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for that thought. That's wonderful. Love it, love it, love it.
Well, and I have extra tables that can be used as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
We probably need to start looking for canopies for the kids zone, right, Sarah? You and Jackson are going in one, but we're going to need one for face painting for sure. And
For
we're
all
probably
those
gonna need
the-
2
the
more.
Fred Fest, maybe some of your Fred Fest friends can use their.
Well, it
can-
turns out that HDR asked my niece from Harrisonburg Animal Hospital to sponsor something, so she'll use her tents.
Okay, good.
But I think we talked about her going in the kids zone. I can't remember what she was gonna sponsor, but it was a
We-
kids activity.
We used to have a tent downstairs in the basement. I don't know whether it's any good or it's still there even.
We have to ask Sally. Sally's the only one who knows what's down there.
Did we
so-
decide that we could do tents along the sidewalk at all for shade?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'll bring mine for that then.
The trouble is that you cannot go into the street. Now, when Sarah and I have used her tent, we have legs in the street, and
Right.
you probably can get away with that.
Even with the streets closed, it'll be a problem.
Yes, because they have to keep the streets clear of that kind of thing in
For
case there's an emergency.
I'll
Right.
measure the sidewalk and see sort of if I can't use it, maybe I could trade off if someone had something a little bit smaller
Well,
and
you
then
can
my,
crunch it. You don't have to put it up all the way. You know, if you don't pull it out all the way, you can make it fit on a sidewalk.
okay,
Now, your canopy on top wouldn't be stretched tight,
right.
but you
Right.
can set that tent up and have it scrunched in.
Still
a
have
little bit.
legs
That's
go-
true.
Yeah.
It still offers much needed shelter.
Shade.
so- And
Especially
I will
on Main
have-
Street. Water Street doesn't get too much sun, does it?
Right, no, but it could
If
be,
you're out there for 5 hours.
Yeah, right, right.
and I'll have at least one extra tent, Barbara, maybe
Oh,
2.
great, great. Well, you're gonna need one because you're on the
I'll need
sidewalk.
one, but then I have one extra, and I
Okay,
may have another one. I'll have to check.
that
So,
would be
yeah, it'll
terrific.
come together.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think it's
just
gonna be
throwing this
awesome.
stuff out there
Yep, right.
earlier rather than
Right.
later. But I think I started thinking today, though, I hope the Delta variant does not come up here
I
and
can't
start
even.
decimating, because they can't have this festival if that happens,
Yeah.
you know? So let's all think good thoughts and hope
Yeah.
that the morons who are not vaccinated go get vaccinated so that they don't get the Delta variant, you know? 99% of the people hospitalized and who have died are unvaccinated.
Right, right. But the people reading that are the vaccinated ones, apparently. Darn it.
Cool. So did Martha, did you want me to say anything about Martha?
Sure.
Yeah.
Joanna had this idea that we put up the video of her doing stories on 2 feet. I guess a link to it, right? Isn't that what she suggested? And I think that's lovely.
That's okay to do.
With me, you mean? Because it's in my, oh yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
I think I saw today that WMRA is working on something. The Citizen already had 2 or 3 articles. So, you know, she's getting a big send off. So
Good.
Look at
I'll do
Vinny.
that for tomorrow then.
yeah, it would be timely tomorrow. Yeah. Does Vinny have anything to say?
Look at him. What a-
He's just chilling out.
Mm.
Give me a kiss.
Anybody else have anything? Are we
I
finished?
got a application for, membership from a lady that's moving to Verona. And she was recommended by the person that quilled, remember?
Deb Booth?
Uh,
Deb Booth?
Deb Booth, yes. Deb Booth kept telling this Tammy that she should, Tammy Scherer, that she should check this place out. So she brought her work. It's upstairs and looks pretty good. It's a collage watercolor, whatever, but different from anything else we've got. So I'll send it out and see what people think.
How
But
cool
it
she brought
seems-
it.
She's young. She can do the computer. She seems to be pretty enthusiastic and, you know, I think it might work out. She can work. That's, I asked all the important questions, right, Barbara?
Straight up. I like it.
That's great. Well done. And I like the fact that she came on the day you were there, Ellen.
She called and I said, well, frankly, today is the day that, you know, that you should bring it in. And she said, oh, great. Yeah. So she hauled it in and it's upstairs. And if you do come by, just, you know, let me know what you think. I don't know about the room, Sarah, what we, you know, what kind of.
Oh, so you mean hanging space?
She's gone.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll just figure
Probably
that out.
picked up her phone and lost us.
There she is. The room's a mess. I went up there today to leave something for Anna and
You
we
mean
have
I'm
to-
room-
sorry,
Other
I
two
lost you there. So I don't know what kind of room we've got available for a 2D visual artist here
Right.
in the gallery.
oh,
Yeah, well, we'll have to do some creative moving things around, I think. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look at that and see.
Okay.
But I think there's some space where people have more than what's allotted that we can squeeze a few people when necessary. So
Yeah. But we should be able to feature new artists in a good spot just
Right.
to promote them a little bit, right?
right.
So anyway, so if you get by, let me know
Okay.
what you think.
are you sending photographs to the rest of the jury committee?
Yes, I am.
You are.
I will.
You are a good woman.
And of course, the important people in the organization, like you and Sarah.
Well, we're coming in sometime Thursday, or I am to work on some other stuff Thursday or Friday, and I'll go up there and look at things.
Okay, they're on the long table that's adjacent to the stairwell.
Okay, good. All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Anything else? I think we covered a lot.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess we could be done. If nobody has anything else.
I haven't gotten the press release or anything yet.
Aaron
Except
sent it
maybe-
out.
Yeah. it went
Yeah.
out like 11th,
Really?
the 12th, the Monday after the 10th, it went out.
Really? Okay. I'll,
Aaron, send it
I'll
to
send
her
you-
again.
Yeah, I will. I think there might be some sort of thing that blocks group emails. I think Ellen experiences that sometimes. Like if it comes like if I send it out to a whole group, I think she might have like a filter with her emails. It says, uh-oh, this is spam, you know.
okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
you sent it separately last time
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I'll do that when I get off. I'll forward it to you.
Okay, great. And I'm having really a problem with the pictures. So if you can, when you save pictures, any pictures, they need to be like around 800 by 1200 or in that range. for it to fit in that newsletter. Otherwise, it's either too big or too small, and sometimes I just can't change them. I don't know what, there's a lock on it or what is happening, but if I can get it the right size initially, it would be really great.
Okay.
So just thought I'd tell people that so that, you know, there
Ellen,
might be a chance.
I have to compliment you, Ellen. I know last month the newsletter just about tore you up. Thank you for continuing with it.
Yeah, it killed me.
Well, you sound pretty good.
Oh, it made you stronger, Ellen. It made you stronger.
Oh, right.
When Gemma
Alright.
is back and in a place where she and Ellen are gonna work, we'll try to get them together and see if Gemma can help her with the tech issues. But Gemma's been vacationing a lot right now. So.
Is she vacationing? I worried that she was having a family crisis.
Well, I don't know the details of why she had to go visit her mother, but so.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you. All
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
right. Bye.
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 Bye.